You so messy for clicking on this video, but since you here, girl, let me give you the tea. Sky Jackson baby daddy receives 21 to 26 years in prison after his conviction. Blueface goes in on Jaidyn Alexis and calls Stunna Girl to tell her how much better she is than Jaidyn and that she got the #1 spot. Last but not least, Blueface speaks on parenting Jr. and why he's not involved, and the fans have started a petition for Chrisean Jr. to be relinquished from Chrisean's custody, and also they've been calling CPS. Let's talk about it, baby, because this is a big deal. Let's go.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Welcome back. What's up, y'all? My name is Big Mouth Baby, and this is my channel. If you have not been here before, baby, and I'm pretty sure you or somebody in your vicinity has not, do me a favor, do them a favor, do yourself a favor, and do all my jawbreakers in the comments a favor, baby, and like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe for me, Zaddy. Subscribe for me, Zaddy. Subscribe for me, Zaddy. Let me see your grill. And I do mean like the video, okay? Yeah, don't play with it, don't play with it. Okay, y'all, let's get to this tea. First things first, I wanted to talk about Sky Jackson's baby daddy. You know, we all know Sky Jackson's baby daddy is a violent, you know, miscreant, you know, who's been doing burglaries, and, you know, allegedly unaliving people. Well, no longer allegedly, you know, unaliving people and everything else. And he's finally facing the consequences for his actions, unfortunately. So, Sky Jackson's baby daddy, DeAndre Bergen, was allegedly sentenced to between 21 and 26 years in prison for his part in a few aggravated robberies and also a unaliving. So, I don't know, you know, I don't want to put too much on it because I personally have not seen the court records. I'm still doing my research. This just came across my desk like literally an hour ago. So I still have to look at the court records myself, and I have more information on it probably tomorrow or whatever the case is. However, I just do want to talk about if this is true, what the impact of it is on Sky Jackson, because I saw so many people in the comments talking about this is good for her and a baby and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, sis, it's never good for a child to lose their father, because we clearly see Sky Jackson has a very impaired sense of judgment for her even dating or allowing herself to be impregnated by a guy like that. I feel like her judgment is impaired, you know, so we can only imagine, you know, the downfalls that are going to happen, or the accidents or the pitfalls that this child is going to face growing up under her care as a single parent. You know, not that the child's going to have much of a better chance with him in the picture, but at the same time, a child growing up with a vulnerable mom who's easily persuaded by, you know, thuggish men, and his father being incarcerated, we can only imagine what that's going to do to that child. You know, I pray that the child does not end up growing up and following in his dad's footsteps. But when a little boy is separated from their dad and they know their dad had a street life, or, you know, was a YN or whatever the case was back in their day, they tend to grow up, you know, resenting the world, you know, for them not having a father. They see all their friends with a father, and not only that, they want to prove their manhood by following in their father's footsteps. And I just hope that doesn't happen to her child. I'm praying for Sky Jackson and her baby and the whole situation, and the baby daddy too, because at the end of the day, he's still human. You know what I'm saying? And he still deserves, you know, forgiveness if he prays for it and all of that other stuff. So I don't think this is a good situation for anybody involved, not the victims, not him, not her, not the baby, not anybody. I don't think this is good. But I do want this to be a lesson to you, Sky, that you need to choose your man better. You need to choose your man better, and you need to stop giving babies to YNs. A lot of y'all need to stop doing that, because this is where it ends, baby. Okay? This is where it ends. Now, I hope that Sky Jackson is not one of them women that's gonna sit by and wait for a man that's in jail. I know ain't no woman gonna be able to wait 26 years. Come on, let's be realistic. But at the same time, I don't even want you to wait 3. Okay, no shade, girl. You young, you still got it. You know, you do got a baby, but girl, that's only one. You know what I'm saying? And the baby daddy in jail. So with that being said, I think you will have a better chance at, you know, moving on with your life and finding somebody. And, you know, if that's something you want to do, you might need time to heal or whatever the case is like that. But all I'm saying is this: I don't think you need to put your life on pause for this man. Please don't put your life on pause for this man, Sky. Get back out there, live your life, and distance yourself and your child from him and his reputation as much as you can. because sis, this has been a dark cloud over your life, over your career, and over everything you've been doing. And it's your fault. You know, I want you to take some responsibility here. It's definitely your fault, but at the end of the day, sis, I would look at this as a chance to rebrand myself, as a chance for rebirth, you know, and just to leave that negative past in the past. Okay, that's all I got for that. Let's move on. Right on to Blueface. So Blueface has been in the media a lot lately, girl. He been tripping. No shade. You been tripping, Blueface. You been out of your hookup. So Blueface was on stream with Jaidyn, and I guess a fan asked Blueface, would he be mad if Jaidyn moved on? And he was like, no, basically because she already moved on while he was in jail. So I didn't know this. I thought Jaidyn was just with that stud. Apparently, Jaidyn was with a man as well. You know, Jaidyn was with a man as well, and Blueface didn't take too kindly to that or to the interview she did with Adam 22 when she was basically talking about how Blueface wasn't attractive to her anymore.
Wait. There was one question I saw that I want. They said, would you be mad if, or like, feel some type of way if I move on, like, to another?
You already moved on.
Okay, we're asking now.
No.
Like, if I was to go be in a whole relationship with somebody else, you wouldn't care?
Nope, you already did it.
I've never been in a relationship with
Yeah, you were. Everybody,
no, I wasn't.
Just because they didn't know about it doesn't mean you weren't in a relationship. Okay. While I was in prison, you was in a relationship with someone.
No, I wasn't.
Just let them.
We're not talking about that. We were just asking about if you would care.
Oh, okay.
It's a simple yes.
Oh, okay.
So he said okay. No. So he said no, y'all. Anyway, he said, which of the girls what?
So you just let you weren't in a relationship?
What was your question?
You guys didn't go out on dates or nothing? You just easy like that, huh? Huh? That's crazy, chat. Nah, I wasn't no stud. Balls all in there. But I was in prison. It happened.
After things have been found out, yep.
What? After what?
It doesn't matter. We're not talking about that. So
okay.
don't leave out parts though.
Okay. Whatever.
Eye for an eye.
So no, I wouldn't care, chat. It's already been done. She's already been. Listen to chat.
That I don't want to be on the roster of 25 people that he keeps in rotation. Like, that is just so not who I am anymore.
Is there part of you that still wants to sleep with him when he gets out?
No, because he doesn't look the same anymore.
Why are you lying?
Tattoos?
Yeah.
What about
why are you lying?
A bunch of face tattoos?
He did, but it was very more demure than it is now.
Very demure.
Yeah.
Very cutesy.
Yeah, it's not the same anymore.
Really?
Yeah, and I mean, granted, maybe when I see him, it might feel different, but...
Oh, it felt different, all right. Oh, yeah, it felt different, all right.
And, you know, Blueface took it personal, and you could clearly tell as he was describing this and talking about, you know, how she moved on and, you know, calling her useless and all these things like that he was very hurt by this.
I don't know who smashed Jaidyn, and I really don't give two flying doobies. She wasn't there for me in prison, so, you know, she's useless to me. That's just my take on it, you know? If I'm going through hardship and you're not going to be there for me, that'll just be the end of that connection. Put it that way.
And I don't know about y'all, but it brought so much clarity to this situation of what he's doing now with all of these women, all these harems of women and stuff like that. And then he goes on, he was on stream by himself after that, and he's going on to talk about Jaidyn, like I said, calling her useless and, you know, talking about how he don't feel like he got to be loyal to her because she wasn't loyal to him, and he can't forgive somebody who was disloyal, you know, while he was basically going through the hardest time in his life, and all of this yappity yappity. And he ends the stream by calling Stunna Girl and telling her she won the cook-off, and she got the #1 spot in his life, or whatever the case is like that.
Hello?
I was calling to tell you that you won the cook-off. I was just calling to let you know you cook the best, you look the best, and you the best. You have the starting position this season. We're going to take you #1 draft pick for the 2026 season. So, you know, we're very excited. We're looking forward to getting you in training camp.
Coach. What are you talking about?
All right, you got the job. So, you're in, baby.
You get on my nerves.
Get homies. You've been
Stop
selected.
with your little stupid ass sound effects.
You've been selected, baby.
I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna get you. So, how do you feel?
I see. I gotta work this out because you gotta make my draft pick now.
Damn. Okay, that's cool. I'm with that.
We got. All right, we gonna see
I'm with that.
when I get there.
You want me to cook for you?
Yeah, I wanted some food, and we gotta go do some stuff.
Go get some stuff.
Don't be making. I said go do some stuff.
Oh, okay.
I said, don't be making faces.
Okay. I'm just making sure you're on time. I make a hell of a cinnamon toast crunch though. Yeah, it on me. Like when I put the milk in the bowl, shit. It's like nothing ever done before. Can I make you?
Tell me what?
Can I make you some cinnamon toast crunch?
Now, first and foremost, let's start here. She did not win that cook-off, girl. That struggle steak, okay, and them canned beans, all right, it just wasn't hitting. I'm sorry, sis. That plain white rice, them struggle canned beans, and that tough, well-done steak that you had to drown in steak sauce just to eat. And when you chewed it, you was chewing it for 10 minutes. You can't tell me that plate was better than Jaidyn's, okay? Everything on Jaidyn's plate was homemade, okay? It was homemade, it was well-made, and it was nice. Now, that's not the point. But I think we now can conclude or put together why Blueface is doing all of this, why Blueface is showing Stunna Girl all this attention. And he's doing it because it's making Jaidyn mad. Simply put, that's why he's doing all of this. It's because it's making Jaidyn mad. When he got so in his feelings when he was talking about Jaidyn and her cheating on him while he was incarcerated and everything like that, I could literally see that man breaking. I could see his soul breaking as he was talking about it, because he never thought that this girl who only wanted him, who only had him, she was his first and his only. I'm sorry, he was her first and her only for so many years until he went to jail, and then she went and traded up for a new man, and it broke him. It broke him because he thought that he had her like that, you know, and he didn't think that she would turn her back on him while he was in jail. He didn't think that she would, you know, give him the cold shoulder and move on so fast like she did. And to retaliate, you know, he's showing Stunna Girl and Nevaeh and all these other women extra attention. You know, got a girlfriend, Angela, while he was in jail. Start talking back to Chrisean, start talking back to Carlissa, start doing all of these things, trying to get up under Jaidyn's skin while he was in jail. And it all made sense. We didn't know why when he was in jail. Why is he doing all of this? You know what I'm saying? Why is he doing all of this? Why is he trying so hard to get close to Carlissa? Because Jaidyn was close to Carlissa. He was watching Jaidyn and Carlissa on Carlissa's show, watching them get closer. He was trying to drive a wedge in between them by getting next to Carlissa. You know what I'm saying? Why is he picking up Angela and, you know, got a whole new girlfriend? Because he was trying to get under Jaidyn's skin. And now that he knows that Jaidyn is consider Stunna Girl competition, and see, Jaidyn, that's why you never should have went over there. You never should have went over there. You never should have cooked for that man. You never should have mentioned Stunna Girl or threw shots and threw shade at Stunna Girl, any of that, because now Blueface knows how to get you. Now he knows what irks you, what irritates you, and that you really are vexed by Stunna Girl's presence, which is why he's giving her such an important position in his life. Blueface don't want you, Stunna Girl. Okay? I'm going to start right there, sis. And I mean that so humbly. And the reason I'm saying that is because, girl, I don't want you to get caught up thinking that this man really does want you. I want you to keep getting your money, okay? Your streams done went up. His streams done went up. Y'all got new music popping out. Y'all in the blogs every day. Y'all doing y'all thing when it comes to the media. So keep doing that and keep yourself in the media and keep your money flowing in by all means, baby girl. But don't get caught up in the mix. Don't think this is real, because he's literally using you to get back at his baby mama right now. And I know you don't mind that, but don't mistake this for real love, okay? Did I say mistake? Is that right? Mistake, mistake? You know what I mean, girl. Anyway, so with that being said, y'all, I really want to deep dive into this right quick when it comes to Blueface's whole part in this, because I think that your lack of accountability, Blueface, is why you keep facing so many hardships in your life. Because at the end of the day, everything that Jaidyn did was a direct retaliation to how you treated her. Jaidyn has always been a good mother and a loyal woman to you. Let's be for real. You know what I'm saying? Well, she's a decent mama. You know, she a decent mama. She's a great woman to you. And there's only about 1 or 2 women in your life that you ever gonna find on this earth that are gonna love you just as much, if not more than your mama do. And Jaidyn was that woman for you. You know, Jaidyn would have gave her last breath for you, and she still will to this day. Let's be honest about it. You played in her face first. You were cheating on her with Chrisean. You were all in the media, all in the public with Chrisean, playing house with Chrisean, got Chrisean pregnant and everything else. And was using that relationship as clout. You left her and your 2 children to go play house with Chrisean. And then when you moved Jaidyn in your house, you were still going down the street sleeping with Chrisean. Okay? She had to watch on social media every day and be laughed at and be ridiculed and be humiliated just so you could keep the clout going with Chrisean. She took the back seat to your career and your relationships with other women many times. Okay? You cheated on Jaidyn before she ever cheated on you. And I don't care if she told you to do it or not. You knew that woman didn't want you going over there. You knew that woman didn't do that. She just didn't want to lose you. So she sat by docile and idle and allowed you to misuse her, you know, and abuse her heart just to still be in your presence and to try to hold her family together. And when you went to prison, you declared your love for Chrisean and faked that whole marriage with that girl. That's why Jaidyn cheated on you. That's why Jaidyn turned her back on you. That's why Jaidyn walked away from you. And that's why Jaidyn started doing interviews slandering your name. And that's why Jaidyn went and got her another man, if she did. Well, I mean, she ain't denied, so I'm pretty sure she did. But that's why. And you're not accepting your responsibility, because had you been the man you were supposed to be to Jaidyn, had you made it work, and had you been the family man you were supposed to be, and had you married that girl because she'd been around you for almost 20 years, had you did what you were supposed to do, she never would have had room. It never would have been no room for another man to come in her life and do anything to her or with her. You need to accept responsibility for what you did and how you forced her hand. And honestly, you need to forgive her, because how dare you put her through all of what you put her through? Let's be for real. Jaidyn will never, ever have the self-respect that she could have had she been with a man who respected her. She'll never have the self-worth, the self-value, or any of that. Okay? Just her coming over there trying to win your affection back by cooking you a plate and competing with the new chick in your life shows us how low Jaidyn will stoop and how she will allow herself to be humiliated just to continue being around you. She will never have that. She will never have the respect of a real, I'm not gonna say a real woman, but y'all know what I'm saying, of an independent woman, of a woman with self-respect and self-dignity. She'll never have that. We'll never look at her like that. We'll always look at Jaidyn as Blueface's doormat. And she allowed that to happen to herself because she loved you. And for her to allow all of that, for her to allow you to go play house with another woman for what, 2.5, 3 years? Have a baby with that other woman. Then fake a marriage to that other woman while you were in jail. And she still, when you got out, forgave you and was willing to play house with you again. With no ring on her finger. You need to forgive her for that. Okay? You've had a slew of women. Okay? Dozens, probably hundreds of women in between you meeting Jaidyn to now. Whether we've seen them publicly or not. You flaunted women all through the media. You've drugged this woman for years. And you get mad at her and can't forgive her for one infidelity? How dare you? Because let's not forget, the whole reason you were in prison in the first place was because of your own doing. You being with Chrisean got you in prison. And if you can't see that was God's karma the whole time, you a fool. For how you used Jaidyn, turned your back on her, You ended up where you ended up. You turned your back on Jaidyn for Chrisean and for clout. You chose clout over your kids, over your family, and over the woman that had been holding you down for years. And you paid the ultimate price, what was your freedom. You paid that price because you played a dirty game. And you have the nerve to judge this woman for her being fed up? How dare you? And if you keep playing games and you keep trying to drag her heart through the mud by pitting her against all of these other women and still keeping her dangling on by having sex with her on occasion, playing house with her on occasion, letting her come over and cook meals, streaming, cuddling up, this, that, and the third, then throwing her out and bringing in another woman, you're going to end right back up where you don't want to end up. Because you did it to her before and you ended up in jail for 2 years. Because the chick you did it for was a psychopath. Now do it again with Stunna Girl. Let's see where you end up this time. You are your enemy. You are your worst enemy and your biggest problem. Don't blame Jaidyn. I don't blame Jaidyn one bit. I don't blame Jaidyn one bit for being fed up with your BS. And how dare you ask her to forgive you time and time again for all of these women you keep running up and through there. But you won't forgive her for one infidelity. When y'all was already broke up. Just because you don't tell somebody y'all broke up, they get the point. When you start, when Chrisean was walking around here calling herself Mrs. Porter, yeah, I think Jaidyn got the point. Girl, he said. Moving on, right along to Chrisean. So, y'all know what's been going on with Chrisean with the whole, her and Junior was in the car. Junior was coughing and she went to the ER. Now, they saying that Chrisean went to the ER for herself. She never took Junior and got him checked out for anything. But I think that ruffled fans' feathers. And I think the last straw was the other day when Chrisean was on live and we heard Junior fall.
I see you, man. I see you standing up, baby.
Open. Friends, can you say the word open? Open. Good job. Open. Will you help us? Oh, I have to go home now. But you have fun. Oh, okay, Duck Duck. Well, thank you for bringing the learning box. We'll see you again soon. Everyone.
Now, what was that?
Bye-bye, Duck Duck.
He going, and he gonna get right back up here.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye, Duck Duck. We'll see you again soon.
What you doing, Barbara?
Now we can open our learning box.
All right. I get you.
Are you ready? Okay,
I'm coming.
On the count of 3, I'm going to open the learning box.
He's standing up
Will you
still,
count
girl.
with me?
Y'all want to see
Here
him?
we go. 1,
He's just
2, 3.
Because he plopped down,
Wow. Wow.
So look, I wiped it off. I wiped it till it's not dirty no more. So I wipe my face till it's not dirty no more. Now I'm about to go in and treat my skin. Now that I got all the makeup
Blue. Let me show you.
and stuff off.
Oh, blue. A blue fish. Blue. A blue shaker. Shake, 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 shake,
So
shake, shake, shake.
I'll be back in 2 seconds. I'm gonna
Blue.
go wash my face.
Blue.
Actually, I'm about to end live so I can wash my face.
Blue.
So y'all be on demon time for real. You feel me? And I'm not, opposing or like judging anybody that does that. I just know. Hey man. Hey. Oh, he still play for it now.
Now, fans did not take too kindly to that. And 2 things have happened since then. Fans have started petitions for the state to step in and relinquish Junior from Chrisean's custody. They're on change.org. And one of them that I seen had, I think, like 12 or 1,300 signatures. No, 1,700 signatures. And the one that I just saw has 570 signatures. So there's 2 petitions that I saw that my supporters sent me. They sending me this stuff. I'm not going to look for this stuff. They're sending me this stuff to my DMs on IG. And also, there were 10 fans that made videos on Facebook of them calling CPS.
Hi, I was trying to call to see if we could find help because I saw online a social media star who lives in California area, significantly abusing her child, and we're trying to get someone to do a well-being check on the child because the videos that were online are very concerning.
Okay, do you know where this person lives?
She lives in California. I'm from Florida, but it was very concerning, the videos I saw.
Okay, but where at in California?
I'm not sure if it's Los Angeles. I'm not sure. I just know her name. And
Okay, yeah. We need something, ma'am. I mean, do you have a name and a date of birth?
from what I knew, her name is Chrisean Malone. CRISEAN March, I think 12th through 2002. I'm not sure, but I know her first and last name is Chrisean Malone.
Okay, so, and how do you know this person?
She's on TikTok. She posts on TikTok a lot, and I follow her. And me and a few other people saw a video of her like letting her child choke and basically suffocate while she shoved cough syrup, an adult medication, which we saw the label for adult, down his throat.
Okay, what? How do you spell her first name?
Chrisean, CRISEAN.
CRISEAN.
Yes, like Chris, CHRISEAN.
Oh, C-H. Okay. And what's her certificate?
Her last name is Malone.
Right. And her date of birth?
It should be March 12th, 2002 or 2000, if I'm not mistaken. She's been arrested in California before.
Yeah, that doesn't help us at all. I need something I can run her on. I can't. Hold on, hold on, I'll give it a second.
Excuse me?
I'll send it to my partner.
Okay.
Okay, and is she black, white, or Hispanic?
She's black.
Does she have any tattoos?
Yes, she has a tattoo on her face of a man face named Blueface, and she just have like a bunch of tattoos. But I know one specifically on her cheek. She has a big tattoo of a face of a guy.
Does she have any on her neck?
Yeah, she has like a throat or neck tattoo, but I'm not sure exactly what it is because it's really hard to tell.
No problem. Okay, I found her. Let me see where she's at.
On Chrisean to try to get, I guess, Junior some help. Now, y'all already know how I feel about Chrisean parenting Junior, or lack thereof, so we don't have to go there. Y'all know how I feel about CPS being called. I don't think that getting the state involved, because once the state gets involved, you know what I'm saying? I don't like the state getting involved when it comes to families. Because once the state gets involved, it's going to be hard for that girl to ever, once she do change her life or get herself together, get back on her feet, it's going to be hard for her to get her child back. You know what I'm saying? Then from that day forward, CPS is always going to, once CPS is in the case, once CPS is in the situation, they never really leave. You know, if anybody ever calls CPS again, they're going to take that very serious. You know, fans can from now on call CPS whenever they mad at Chrisean, whenever they like Chrisean, you know, and manipulate the situation and things like that. So I never like CPS getting involved. However, if a child is being mistreated and chances have been given on part of the supporters, chances have been given on part of the family. We have family saying that she's not taking care of the baby. You know, we got Blueface saying she's not taking care of the baby and everything like that. I'm not going to tell y'all to call CPS because y'all really take everything I say to heart. Y'all take everything I say to heart. And I don't want to be responsible for putting that out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm against CPS getting involved, for the record. But I just got to stand idly by and see how this plays out. I'm not condemning anybody for calling CPS, and I'm not telling y'all to call CPS. I'm just saying I'm gonna watch and see how this plays out, because, like I said, we have seen many times. This is not the first instance of Chrisean being a bad parent. You know, her living in that car with a disabled child, first and foremost, is bad parenting. You know, we've seen her literally toss Junior on the front seat to Blueface. You know, that was bad parenting. We've seen her have him hanging out of a sling when he was a newborn, you know, messing up his spine in Walmart. That was a bad, you know, parenting choice. We just saw her working out in the gym and laying, Junior was laying on the floor like a rag doll. That was bad. So we've seen it, you know, him in the backseat coughing up a lung, and her not taking him to the emergency room. That was, you know, we've seen so many instances of bad parenting on Chrisean's part that, you know, I can't righteously say that these people are wrong for their concerns. However, I don't want to be responsible for anybody getting their child taken away from them. Now, y'all know in my perfect world, Chrisean, I would want Chrisean to give the baby up to a family member or somebody who can better handle the baby, because at the end of the day, Chrisean, you just are not equipped. You know, you are not equipped financially. You are not equipped mentally. You are not equipped emotionally. You're still, you know, you're still chasing men. You know, you're still trying to get yourself back on your feet. And you're still in a selfish phase that I don't think a disabled child needs to be a part of. So, but that's neither hither nor thither. Y'all, I want y'all to drop down in the comments, let me know what y'all think about it, because it's a sad situation all around. You know, it's a sad situation to see the child, you know, what he's going through at her hands, and it's a sad situation to, you know, imagine her, what she'll go through if the child is taken away from her. You don't know what that might do to that woman. You know, you don't know if she's going to have an emotional breakdown or whatever, the nervous breakdown or whatever the case is. You know, you don't know if she's going to try to harm herself or somebody else or anything like that. You don't know what the crash out and the fallout will be from this. So it's not a good situation nowhere around. You know, to tell you the truth, I don't know if Chrisean has any family left who will, you know, step in and try to help her, because, you know, Tareen tried, you know, and what, like I do believe the asking for the Social Security number stuff was a little much, because you had just started watching him like a few weeks ago. But at the same time, I think that, you know, Tareen was one of the best options you had for Junior to be in a safe place and be raised by somebody with some sense, you know, especially since, you know, she got kids of her own that she was raising. So I think he would have had, I think, and I personally know for a fact, it's better for disabled children or children that are impaired to be raised around able-bodied children. I have a disabled cousin. I have two of them actually, and their brothers and sisters are able-bodied. And she wasn't supposed to ever walk or talk. She was born at 5 months, I think 4 or 5 months. She was very premature, and the doctor said she would never walk and talk. My cousin is walking, talking, reading, texting, everything now, because she had able-bodied brothers and she kept trying to keep up with them. That's how she learned how to walk. She got tired of getting left. You know what I'm saying? You know, she learned how to talk because she had to stick up for herself in a house full of men. You know, they taking her toys and pulling her pigtails, and she got to stand up for herself. She learned how to be social, and it really helped her develop far beyond what the doctors ever said she'd be capable of. So I do know from personal experience that it is healthy for a disabled child to be raised around able-bodied children. So yeah, but I say all that to say this: if there's anybody left in Chrisean's family who can help her, who's willing to help her with this baby, now's your time to step up. You know, now is your time to step up. I think Chrisean done just about burnt every bridge she got. You know, family, friends, godparents. I don't know if the godparents, I don't know what the relationship is like with them, but I do know about them accusations she put on her goddad. So I don't know if they would, you know, I don't know. But if anybody around that girl is willing, I would say now's your time to step in. And Chrisean, honestly, to tell you the truth, sis, there's no shame in admitting that you are ill-equipped to do something. I think if you wanted to be responsible, if you wanted to be a good mom, I think allowing somebody who's more prepared would be the best and the most gracious thing you could do for your baby, because at the end of the day, I think that you're only keeping Junior out of selfishness. I think you don't want to be alone, and I also think you don't want to admit failure, and I think those are two very selfish reasons to keep a child that you know you cannot raise properly. Because all other things aside, throwing him on the front seat, leaving him on the floor, having him in the child carrying thing improperly, all other things aside, just having that child living in the car with you was out of control. Okay? Out of control. So yeah, there's that. And I also want to speak on Blueface. So Blueface did speak on Junior and stuff. And I guess the fans were asking him why he don't get Junior, you know, in lieu of all of this stuff that was happening with Chrisean on live. They were saying, why he don't get Junior? Why don't you get Junior? And he said he loved Junior. You know, he just don't want to deal with Chrisean.
I see this abandoning Sonny. I'm definitely not abandoning Sonny, guys. Definitely not abandoning Sonny. It's my son. I love him. And can't wait to see him again. Alright? So cut that out. When his mom decides that, you know, it'll happen. But I ain't chasing after none of that. Hell no, chat.
And I call BS. Because here's the thing. If you go to the state and show them all of these plethora of videos of how she's raising this child, you know, or not raising this child, and his condition after being, you know, 2 years old and still not able to walk, still not able to talk properly, and, you know, still not getting the proper care that he deserves, the state would give you your child. You got a house, you got a business, the state would give you your son. You're not trying, not on part of Chrisean, because like I said, you can go straight to the state. You don't have to deal with Chrisean. The only time you will have to see her is in family court. You don't have to speak to her. You got to speak to the judge. A man that want to be there is going to be there, and a man that won't. I'll say that. You don't want that child. You don't want that child because you don't want the responsibility of having to raise a disabled son. You don't want the responsibility and the backlash and the judgment that Chrisean is getting. Because if Junior comes into your household, now we questioning why you got all these women running around half naked in front of your son. Why you got gang members in here. You know. Why you got strippers clapping cheeks all up and through the house. Where's the stability? Why you not cooking dinner every night for him? Why are you not taking him to his doctor's appointments? Why are you not trying to get him some special help? Why are you not, you know, all of the questions we bombard Chrisean with, you don't want it. And you don't want the 24/7 responsibility of being a father, because caring for that baby is a 24/7 responsibility. Like I told y'all it would be before he was even born. So just be a man and admit you don't want it. Blueface, you are acting very cowardly nowadays. You know, with this whole Jaidyn situation, with this whole Chrisean Jr. situation, you just acting real cowardly. And I'm going to need you to step up at some point. You know what I'm saying? At some point, or admit that you don't want to, at the very least. So, yeah, there you have it, y'all. Y'all drop down in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about all of this. And I'll talk to y'all later when I go live. Bye!